Appreciate you guys coming, weathering the storm. You guys look a lot drier than me, but I appreciate you guys coming, so fire away.
Just comment on the secondaries. It looked like both secondaries looked like they dominated the game.
You think? I appreciate that coming from a defensive guy.
Well,
there's a bunch of balls cut over our head too.
Balls, there were a lot of catches out of bounds. I mean, that's still all on the defensive end.
I think Coach Azar has done a really good job. I think that has to be one of the strengths of our team. We were the third-ranked pass defense in the country last year, and we need to improve off of that. Elijah Jones has played a lot of football. He's got to establish himself as one of the best corners in the ACC. Josh DeBerry, I think, is one of the overall best defensive backs in the ACC. And he made a couple nice plays. Then you mix in a bunch of young guys who haven't played so much, but they're really good players. And I think they're being coached really well by Coaches R and Tim. And I think we got a chance to be really, really good in the back end. There are some PI calls that, I'd like to see on tape and like to coach off of and work off of those. But they were physical. They finished violent. And I'm excited about that group. We got some guys who didn't play too,
You gotta ask about the Christian touchdown.
I told you, didn't I tell you Christian was gonna run it?
Yeah. Who came
up? Have I ever lied to you guys?
Was it John? Was it you?
I don't know who came up with it. You know who I think came up with it? Christian.
So we have a name for that offense. I came up with a nickname. I don't know if I can.
You can call it whatever you'd like.
Okay.
I'll keep the name between me and the staff. He looks so big back there. No one was gonna tackle him. I told you guys he was gonna run it. We just wanted to get down to the goal line first. So have a little fun. It's a spring game.
You remember Refrigerator Perry?
He kind of looked like the fridge.
That's the first thing I thought.
The fridge was bigger than him. Fridge was a big man.
The fridge was like 400 pounds, but 5'3",
Yeah, that's funny. I remember the fridge.
Coach, talk a little bit about some of the young skill guys on offense. Johnson, Coleman, they really stood out today. What did you think of their performance?
Yeah, Taji made plays just like he did in spring game last year. He's a big body on the outside. Caught a couple back shoulders, a couple fades. Haven't seemed to be throwing him a lot today, so they must have a pretty good connection. Xavier Coleman ran the ball really well. That's what I saw. I saw it in training camp last year when he injured his knee, and then I saw it this spring. He popped a couple big runs. He did the same thing today. He's sneaky quick, and he's got a lot of burst to him. And then Phil hit him on a couple of checkdowns that went for some big chunks, which versus zone coverage are really good plays. I'm excited about a lot of the young guys. Dante Reynolds had a really good spring. He showed up today. Lewis Bond, young guy, had a really good spring. Jaden Williams had a really good spring. Those are young, talented guys that can run. We look faster today than we did last spring on offense and defense. It's one of the biggest takeaways. I had a pretty good view today, just sitting behind. We look like a faster, more athletic football team, and we have to continue to be that way.
Coach, are you going to use this game going forward in practice going into next season?
Say it again?
How are you going to use this game, like what you took away from this game, use that to go into next season?
I think you'll take more of what we did in spring. I mean, we ran like 3 or 4 offensive plays today. We literally played 2 coverages and ran 1 pressure. The call sheets looked like index cards. So we were really simple. I think what you take away is the guys came out and they were a little sluggish to start. And I kind of said over the headsets that someone made a comment like, hey, we're not playing very fast. And I said, yeah, guys, we haven't been in the stadium, and some of these young guys have never been here, and there's people here watching. Some guys are a little nervous. So the biggest takeaway is you got to teach those young guys that you make practice harder than games. So when you go out there, you just play confident and let it go. So that's the biggest thing. That it's a good teaching moment. The other thing that was really cool about today, at the end, we had a couple of guys who don't get a lot of reps. One gets an interception, and then Jack gets in at the end and makes all those plays to Luke. If you noticed how excited our guys got for them, that's what I take away, how much this team cares about each other, enjoys each other, and not just for the superstars, but for the guys who show up that none of you even know, but make plays. That's one of the biggest things, and I told the team that in the locker room after.
I wanted to ask about Quintavious Hutchins. Had a big game today. We've talked about a lot of the D-line, but I haven't asked you about him. How does he come along?
He's been injured, so he hasn't practiced or played very much. He's got good length and quickness, and he can rush. So we need to see more. But he flashed. Tyus flashed. Donovan flashed. A bunch of guys up front. I didn't call very many sacks, as you saw, because I wanted to see if we can make some plays down the field. So maybe the defensive line was mad. Maybe that's all right. Let them strain, try to get sacks. We need more next year. We need production. But again, The biggest thing I take out of that is Sheeta didn't play. Marcus Valdez didn't play. Chibuzi didn't play. Those are 3 of our 4 starters. So what you saw today is the depth that we're building, and that's very exciting.
Coach, there was a part early where you're doing something with the safeties where like you were shifting one guy low and the other guy was kind of rotating up high, like they were just in movement. I know that the safety position kind of plays more of a hybrid anyway these days. Like the safeties are big enough to play linebacker and the linebackers are big enough to, quick enough to cover. So what is kind of the, when you do stuff like that, is that masking or is that just kind of guys just reading and doing what they do?
It's just them seeing the formation, determining how wide the split is, how far I need to get down so I don't get blocked. If I have the A gap, if I have the B gap. We weren't going to disguise today. Normally in a game we would disguise and show different things, but we lined up and just played today. That was guys being smart and figuring out this guy's really close to me, I need to walk down more so I don't get blocked out of my gap, or this guy's really far from me, I have more time to get into my gap so I can play a little deeper. That's all that was today.
And what's the road after this now for you? Like spring's done, like where do you go from here? I know there's the breakdown and then the guys will go through summer workouts, but for you moving forward, is there,
For me,
sure there's no time off as usual?
Me personally?
For you as personally as in with the coaching staff?
well, for the coaching staff and for me, it's a little bit different. And this is our first real off season since I've been here, because now the coaches are going to get ready to go on the road recruiting, and I can't. Because the head coaches aren't allowed to go on the road, so I need to figure out what I'm going to do.
Vacation time?
No, no. My wife's laughing back there. We'll take Easter break. The players will go away for Easter break, and then we'll have some workouts for about 2 weeks. But then I want to take May with our players, concentrate on their finals, and I want them to decompress. I think too often in college football right now, it's you never stop working out, you never stop running, you never stop working out, you never stop running. Then you get right into training camp. Then you get right into the season, and the season goes to January. You got to catch your breath. You don't want a team burn out. You don't want a coaching staff burn out. So we'll go on Easter break. We'll come back. We'll do a little lifting, a little bit of running, and then let's take a step back. Right? Be a college student. Focus on school. Get out of here. Go home. Come back in June, and then we'll start it up again. But for me, there's a ton of things. I need to go back and watch the film, offense, defense, and special teams. There's some thing I need to get out, see some alumni, do some events that I've yet to be able to do in person that I'm excited about doing. And then, figure it out. It's going to be weird when we walk around here with, Mike Morris and Bishop, everyone else, Reggie, everyone else is going to be gone. So there's always work to do. Maybe I'll go on a vacation too.
Doesn't the portal get active at this time of year too, after the spring
The
game?
portal?
Yeah.
The portal will always be active, so we'll keep our eye on it. Might we bring in a player or two? Maybe. My feeling about it. It's got to be the perfect fit, and it's got to be a high-need position. We've got a group of guys who've worked really hard to put themselves in position to get on the field and play. If I bring in 10 portal guys right now, what's that saying? It's telling my team I don't believe in them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If there's a need, we'll figure it out, and we'll see where we go with that.
Just one more for me. Just talk about McCowan and Finney. It seemed like they didn't know it was a spring game. They made some pretty good hits out there.
Yeah, they're young and they're getting excited. That's young guys playing in the stadium, playing in front of some people, and maybe they want to try to impress some people. I don't know. Anybody else got anything?
Just a quick question, Coach. What are your thoughts on the offensive line today? Obviously, you're replacing 4 or 5 starters. How do you think they did?
I think they did a good job. Again, in the run game, we kept it simple. Formationally, we kept it simple. I thought our D-line strained today, and I thought they would have had some pressure. Overall, what I take from this O-line in the spring is we're really strong in the interior, and we're athletic on the edge. We just need experience, and we need to get better. And training camp is going to be really, really important for that group. That's the group that's going to be doubted. That's the group that's going to be picked on. But I think we got the right kids to respond.